Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
There's Mr. Enfuego, one half of the Baseball Junkies podcast. Before we get the show going, we just want to make sure that both you, the viewer, and the listener are fully aware that this podcast is not intended to provide any form of investment advice. The opinions expressed here by either the host or any guest do not necessarily reflect the views of any sports card investor, organization, and or entity within the sports card market. Any discussion of sports card values in the past or present is not a guarantee of future performance. Two collectors with a common love of baseball cards. A league of her own, Mr. Enfuego. Welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast.
Well. Welcome back to the Baseball Junkies podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, from A League of Her Own.
And this is your boy, Mr. Enfuego.
I need to figure something out different with my life because taking weeks off of this show is not working for me.
Yeah, it's like relearning, reinventing the wheel all over again.
In case you guys are brand new listening, I was off last Saturday. I was off in Memphis, Tennessee, visiting Graceland and other things in the area. And, you know, it's a yearly trip that I do with my sister. My aunt went with us on this one because she's a big Elvis fan. And we didn't have a podcast last week, all because of me. Usually when podcasts don't happen, it's because of me. I need to get my you-know-what together and fix that. So, on that note, I'm really happy to be back with everyone. Mr. Enfuego, it's been good chatting it up with you on cards again. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today in the podcast. Lots of baseball card information for you. So unless you've got something else you want to throw in on the intro here, Battle, I'm going to go.
No, we ain't got nothing else. I'm ready to just dive into all the shenanigans that's been going on.
Holy shenanigans. I know. That's the other thing. Take a week off and good Lord, like
everybody loses their mind.
Yes, Lord have mercy. All right, let's get to the upcoming releases. I swear to God, it feels like it's all or nothing with the upcoming releases. Like Series 1 comes out, and I feel like we're waiting forever for the next one, and now there's like literally like 7 different things coming out. Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about some of these in previous weeks. I'm just going to go over these fairly quickly. On March 20th, we're expected to see 2024 Topps Archives Signature Series. Those are the $90 one card encased auto numbered cards. Also, let's see, the 22nd, we've talked about this as well. 2023 Bowman Inception coming out. Those are about $165 hobby box. 7 cards, some autos, some goodies, what have you. All right, now slipping in there, we didn't know this is coming out. I'm excited to see this opened because it is, as far as high-end products go, this is like my favorite. We've got 2023 Topps Dynasty coming out on the 22nd. I think they had them on Topps maybe. I didn't see what the price was. Did you catch the price?
I didn't see the price, but I did see the new design, and I think 22 was better.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna be wrong. It's probably like $700 or $800 a box. I feel
probably.
So they're really nice looking cards, but man, they're up there. So that's slipped into the on the upcoming list that we didn't know that until this past week. Also, we've got on the 27th Big League coming out. Hobby boxes of that, about $50. We did hear a little bit about that in previous weeks because of the content creators. Is that how I want to word it? For that, that got
hobby influencers.
hobby influencers, Striker Breaks,
Yeah.
Jabs being the two that I remember them. Oh, Shy City got on there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also dropping on Tops on the 27th, Tops Tribute. That's a $550 box.
Yes.
You get some more cards in that one, but previous weeks we talked about Panini Elite Extra Edition. It's currently now coming out on the 27th. They've changed that a couple times now. It's a $100 hobby box, kind of like a Bowman type product for Panini. And then last but not least, I'm just throwing it up there because I feel like I'm hearing a lot more about Leaf these days. There is Leaf Perfect Game, $90 a box, some cool looking cards in that. It's almost like Leaf is coming up in there where Panini was with like cool looking cards that
Just the
don't have any.
designs, yeah.
Yeah, cool designs, but no logos and all that stuff. So wanted to throw that out there. So that was and then this isn't coming out just yet, but the pre-order came out. You could pre-order 2024 Topps Heritage.
Yes.
And so I mean that alone, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 different products. With 7 of those coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm not sure when Heritage officially comes out. That I did get the Topps email of the pre-order coming out. So that was your chance. Well, that was your chance to get it at the cheapest when it first comes out. I have a feeling that Topps Heritage is gonna drop in price.
I think the pre-order, I think they was asking for like $95.
$95 a hobby box.
It will stay there at that price.
Yeah, and I'm just no guaranteed auto. You get a guarantee. It's an auto or
it's either or
relic, and it's just like, man,
it's a flagship hobby box. That's all
it's really too bad because that should be one of the better, like, funner products, and I feel like they're ruining it. I don't know. Because when 2019, when Topps Heritage was one of my favorites, and each year it's just gotten worse for me. But that's what I've got for upcoming releases. Shall we dive into reviews?
Let's go ahead and get into some reviews.
All right, here we go. There's literally nothing new to review. So nothing new has come out in the past week or so. So it's still a lot of 2024 Series 1 Topps. There's a little bit of 5-star here and there, and then throwbacks of whatever else you want to watch. Bowman's Best, all that stuff. So
I mean, I will say, despite I'm at the brink of being over exerted with Series 1, it's good to see a lot, like you mentioned, a lot of those throwbacks, like Bowman's Best, or museum collection, or hell, even luminaries. It's something different.
Yeah,
like I'm literally Series 1 out.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. I was organizing today, still getting this office, and all of this over here is my 2024 stuff. The stuff I wasn't gonna buy at all, but I've ended up with this here, and I'm like, so now I'm like at the point where I'm curious if I do have a complete set.
Yeah,
and then I've got a bunch of inserts and stuff over here that I'll probably sell. Get out to people that set collect and hopefully complete their sets for them and stuff like that. I did do pretty well on inserts this year. I pulled 2 different really nice inserts.
Yeah, you did.
But anyways, that's what this segment's about here. So I'm going to move right into hobby news because I feel like we've got some things to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
Here we go. I tell you what, I went away for a week, and good Lord, I just, the week before I think was the PSA and SGC thing, and then boom.
Pick your poison. Pick your poison. So we're gonna go with the mop and glow. Okay,
I feel like the mop and glow. Yeah, Kurt's card card is what I even I wasn't diving into all the sports card information news while I was gone, but it was slapping you in the face whenever you opened anything up.
It really was, yeah.
So for those of you that may not have heard, a Victor Wembanyama, I know it's not baseball, but just bear with me here. Both one of ones actually got graded with PSA. The true black got graded with PSA, got a 10, and the breaker that had pulled this card or whatever,
NorCal Sports Cards.
NorCal Sports Cards, goes on and gives a shout out to Kurt's Card Care once he gets the card back, and everyone's like, like, well, wait a minute, Kurt's Card Care, that stuff's banned. That's altering cards and stuff like and now Kurt's Card Care is sold out, mind you. Now PSA puts out a thing saying they do not, no substances allowed on cards, no trimming, which they've always said, but there's just like this, like, what, now I don't know, I don't know how to explain it.
So let me help you out there.
They couldn't detect it.
There was a tweet that was sent out by the president of PSA. His name is Ryan Hogue. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm just going to read the highlight of it.
Yeah.
And I quote, he says, I want to clarify that PSA does not approve of any chemicals or foreign substances being added to the surface of a card to improve the condition or appearance. If we detect that this has happened to any card, we will consider it altered.
So, as someone that sends in a ton of stuff to grading, I've always known that, you're not supposed to use stuff on cards. And way back when, too, before I knew that, I actually ordered Kurt's Card Care, and then I got to talking to Extreme Card Breaks and some other guys that have been in the hobby forever, and they're like, "Whoa, don't use that stuff. You can get banned from sending cards into PSA. That's considered altering the cards." And and after many conversations, I was like, "Oh shoot, this is all I have left of it." I kept this nice little microfiber patch because look at that, it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So now leave it to watched Sports Card Radio, watched Sports Card Investor, watched Dan the Carman, all my favorites that really break it down. AIH Sports, all that, and Geoff is like, "Oh, I think it should be okay." I'm just like, "Of course you do, Geoff." And I'm just dying to, hit us up in the chat right now. What do you guys think about all this stuff? Now, here was my thinking process of it. When I first heard about it, I'm like, "Oh, you're just polishing up a card, whatever." I used to be a mechanic and used to do stuff on cars, and then when you think of people that collect cards,
right?
Cars. Now, make sure you guys not with no D in there. Cars, and you get something fixed or you replaced. It's no longer stock. It's no longer authentic. If you will.
It's restored.
It's restored. So that was how I in my mind, I was like, okay, that I get that. Why PSA would still grade a card from that got Kurt's Card Care stuff on it, but it would be slabbed as altered.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and so once I started putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, I took this message from the president of PSA. So I went to the website of Kurt's Card Care, okay, and I started diving into the context. And on Kurt's website, it states here, Kurt's Card Care kit includes everything I use to clean, polish, and correct edge and corner issues. If that doesn't sound like temperament or altering, what does?
Yeah. So, man, I had a point and I lost it, but I'm thinking when PSA hears that guy say, "Thanks, Kurt's Card Care," they should take that card should be like, "Oh no, it's not a 10 anymore. It's done. Thanks for letting us know. We didn't catch it." But that card's, now that we know it's altered, I don't know. Now, I do see people in the chat talking about polishing and stuff like that. Little breath and you're wiping your fingerprints off. Cool. Adding the polish, not cool. Now, I know that kind of conflicts my whole thing when I was talking about sports cars and such, to the card now, and man, this is like all this over cards, man.
It really is. I mean,
it's like,
and especially if you really look at it, it's all those individuals that turned the hobby into a business.
yeah,
You know, they're trying to go through hell and high water to make sure that everything in their inventory is a PSA 10. So they're gonna go through whatever it takes to get that 10, which
and
it takes away from the hobby.
yeah. So I'm sorry though, Kurt's card care isn't the problem here because this guy's been transparent the entire time. He's like, this is what I do. This is
Right.
what I do to cards. This is what I do. I'm not trying to sneak. He's not trying to sneak nothing by nobody. He really isn't. I mean, man, he's the ones where he's soaking cards in this fluid like for days. I'm just like, it just blows my mind.
It really does.
I don't know anything about like science, but that seems like there's some science there that would say this is probably not a good idea on the card. But anyways, so he's not the problem. I think I don't know if PSA just like, damn, this guy from NorCal made us just like so stupid, and now we gotta like be like, hey, he did say Nat Turner, the post, like you said, none of that stuff allowed on the card, but at the same time, we didn't detect it. So look what you've done.
But because PSA is keeping a tight lip about it now, look where the hobby is going to now.
I think
everybody's going on and talking about, I think cleaning is okay. I think it's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, like I know Sports Card Investor, they do their little cards on the table segment every week, and Geoff is on board with card cleaning. As a matter of fact,
big surprise.
I had a nice little conversation with Geoff on Twitter, and basically I asked him, would you go to the extent of applying a substance that cleans your cards? I don't see nothing wrong with the use of a simple microfiber cloth and a few wipes. And his response was, I think cleaning should be allowed, and he referred me to his video.
The video, he just, yeah. So I don't know. Just to be upfront, I don't think it's okay. I think a little bit of this, a little bit of
nothing
your
wrong
fingerprints off there. Cool. No trimming, no adding products, because first of all, that's weird. I think it's weird. Like you're doing all that stuff to your card. I think it's weird. There are cards, man. Like they're cards.
I mean, now it won't apply to me because I don't try to think. I don't try to overthink it now. But what if you happen to have that one person who either goes to a card show, surfs eBay, they find that one card they're looking for at a PSA 10. In the back of their mind, they're thinking, what if Kurt's card juice is on it?
Add that to the list of things if you really think about it, though. Just because something's in a PSA slab doesn't mean it's a perfect card. We've seen some shit that shouldn't be a PSA 10, and some shit that should be a PSA 10. That's not, that's still, you've still got that human being and subjectivity of the matter. I am curious if tag grading can detect those things on the card with all the stuff.
That would be a good
I'd love to.
science project.
We need to reach out. I need to reach out to somebody from Tag and see if they would talk about their process and stuff like that. And that would be super interesting.
Yeah. But for everybody who's actually listening in and you are in the business of sending stuff to go get graded, really think about what you do to prepare your cards to send them for submission. Okay. If all you do is just a simple wipe with a microfiber, okay, continue to do so. If you have a system that works and it's not broke, don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm speaking from personal experience. I personally am against adding any type of additives to enhance the look of cardboard. You know, the way I've seen it, and I've mentioned this religiously, anything done to the card after manufacturing, packaging, distributing, shipping, and ripping, it's ultimate, with the exception of just wiping any residual dust with that cloth.
Yeah. Now, if I'm being completely honest, full disclosure, um, I've had cards sent to me to send into grading, and I can tell when they put some shit on the surface. And I tell everybody, I was like, "Don't send me that stuff to send in under my name." But if you do that stuff, just don't tell me. But there's some cards that I've gotten that where I've got, because I'll wipe them down myself when I'm helping prepare them, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this card, like,
Because right now,
my hand slides right off, and I'm like, whoa,
because
and
it's
I'm like,
Russian
whatever.
roulette that you're actually doing, Adrian.
What's that?
It's actually Russian roulette that you're doing.
I know, and hear me out on that though. My thought is, I want to send it in, and I want my hope is that PSA catches it.
Okay.
And they never do. Now, it hasn't been like a crazy amount of cards. I'm talking less than than I can count on one hand.
Right.
And they never do. Now, I will say they haven't gotten 10s. I've noticed that. So I'm like, what is the point? Like, what? It's weird. Is it weird? I wonder if these people that are flippers that are just trying to get money. That's not weird. I
Okay,
guess they're trying
so
to get money, but it's still weird.
you know what? I'm not gonna bring this up now. I'm gonna save this comment for the after hours show because we're gonna talk about it.
All right, fair enough. Another little bit in hobby news that I wanted to bring up was I want to get everyone's thoughts, opinions, get the conversation going on making verbal deals on cards. This was another smaller, but to me, important story that came up this week. There was a $100,000 deal with Jeff Wilson that he went back on, and then there was also another Instagrammer, Simply High End Cards, that was in the process of purchasing the Wyatt Lang. I'm going to say his name wrong now. Wyatt Langford Superfractor auto card. That was a redemption. He was in communication to purchase that card for a crazy amount of money. It was like $25,000 he was going to pay for this card. He was going to pay for the card. He was going to fly out to pick up the card, and constant communication back and forth with the owner, who it was a redemption. So they were waiting for it to come back. And the owner of the card kept messaging like every couple of days. I feel like checking in, like, oh, and talking about what he was doing in spring training and just checking in, making sure everything's cool, blah, blah, blah. And then the card shows up, and they sends a picture of him holding the card, sends a picture of the card. And the Simply High End Card guy is like, hey, awesome, I'll start looking for flights. And he's like, we actually went with a $50,000 deal. So it was double, but didn't give him, to me, like, he didn't give him an opportunity to counter. He did say in his text message, hey, when it's here, it's yours. And the guy, like, had been going to card shows and selling some of his higher end cards, trying to get funds together so he can get this card that he wanted in the collection. Like, man. And like, they sent him a picture like of him holding the card, like, haha, just kidding, I'm gonna sell it to somebody else. And it's like, I get the $25,000 to $50,000, like, that being like, dude, look, I know I promised you the card, but I got an offer for double. Like, give them the opportunity to like match it or come up with it, because that's a douche move, man. That is a douche move.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money it is. I think that's what I don't know. What do you think? Do you?
I mean,
feel on it?
if I can understand buyer or seller's remorse, and you try to come up with something to try to renege on a transaction, but like you said, at least keep it real with that person. If I'm looking to buy a Superfractor Julio from you that you pulled out of a redemption, okay, and we verbally agreed on set price, but then you got somebody else who's offering you more than what we agreed upon, I would expect, at least as a courtesy, for you to come back at me and say, hey, look, I know we agreed on this, but I just had somebody who found out that I also have it. They're interested. They're offering me this, And if I
Yeah.
say, okay, there's no way I'm going to match that or come close to it, I'll be like, you know what? By all means, knock yourself out. Good luck.
Yeah.
But if you leave me in the dark, especially if I'm talking about I'm going to fly out to Portland to come pick it up, and on top of that, I'm selling stuff to get money together to buy a ticket.
Yeah. That's a good point you bring in there too, because it's not like it was the seller like waiting for the buyer to get funds together. This buyer was ready to pay.
Yeah.
Like come out, like he was ready to pay. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I want to buy it, but I'm gonna, it's gonna take a week. No, that deal's not done till the money swaps hands. This situation's got a little twist to it. That's why, man, holler at me if I'm getting the information wrong on this one. That's why the Jeff Wilson one didn't seem like legit to me. I don't think Jeff is at fault in this one. I mean, I could be wrong. You guys can rip me in the comments and let me know I'm wrong, but it seemed like he was like, oh, I'll do $100,000 on it, but he wasn't talking to the actual guy yet. And because the guy was in Canada somewhere and like talking about him meeting up there, it didn't sound like that finalized deal was spoken. And so when it got to talking about finalizing it, that's when he was like, hey, I'm actually not going to do this. I didn't feel like what he did was completely ridiculous or like rude or anything like that, but maybe I misread it or I missed something, but it didn't even sound like those first messages were with the person that actually owns the card. I could be missing a detail on that, but
I mean, either way, back in the day, and I'm talking about well before any of us was around or whatnot, deals were actually made verbally or with just a simple handshake.
Yes.
We try to still use that same tradition now, but it seems like it really doesn't hold any weight no more.
It does feel like it's decreased in value.
It has.
Say that over the years, at the very least, common courtesies. I know things are different with selling, being able to sell. Like I can sell a card for you from Oregon to Florida, like no problem. Where a little bit different back in the day, but because everything was those handshakes, everybody was in the same room. You know what I mean? So, but they're just like with anything with money and value, there's shady, slimy people out there.
Money is the root of all evil.
It's a shame. So I just want to take this moment real quick. We're going to get into some trivia, so get ready for that, you guys. But I really, really appreciate all the listeners out there and all the watchers here on YouTube and those of you on your favorite podcast format. It's good to have you guys here. Baseball Card Junkies podcast has been shooting off in the past couple of weeks, and I just really appreciate all the support from all of you listening and watching. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. And Mr. Enfuego and I love doing this. Is huge passion for us, and just can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It's
serious to the point where if you look over Adrian's right shoulder, we're branded.
Oh yeah, my new neon sign. I'm so pumped about this thing. It's so cool. I'm gonna be, now that that's up, I can start filling in the walls with some other cool stuff. So let me know,
we are legit, people.
Yeah, send us some emails. Head over to the website and check us out over there, and let me know what you want to see on my walls. Like, should I put baseball cards up there? Should I get some nice jerseys? Like, I don't want you to tell me who, because I want to put up who I love. It's gonna be like Bo Bichette or Ricky Henderson. I'm working on an All-Star game, 2023 All-Star game thing right now that I'm going to put up. So anyways, all that, just want to throw up real quick along the bottom. That's the website for the podcast. And, I'm going to also throw up all this is in the description as well. I'm going to throw this up real quick as well. If you guys SeatGeek needing any spring training game discounts or something like that are coming up for the baseball season. I got that one here. And then there's a whole nother coupon code that's going to be on the Baseball Card Junkies podcast, the After Hours show on Mr. Enfuego's channel, about 30 minutes after this podcast. All right, that is enough of that. Let's remove that, and let's get ready for trivia. Okay, guys, trivia. As soon as you know what it is, you don't wait till the end. As soon as you, like, from the first hints that go on, type it in right away, because if you're waiting till the very end, it's not going to work, because the very end is when Mr. Fuego says the answer. He's given hints along the way. As soon as a hint comes up that you know is the key to you getting the answer right, you hit that up there in the comments. All right, here we go. Trivia. Boom.
Welcome to the hottest baseball card podcast out there. And without further delay, let's go ahead and get right into the trivia of the week. Name this set. This particular product has a 200 card base set. Start thinking about it. This set also has inserts that are inspired and themed by the solar system. You should start getting warmer. One insert is named after this particular little guy.
E.T. phone home.
If you don't know, then the answer is Topps Cosmic Chrome. We actually got a winner.
We got a winner. That's the key. The key was letting everybody know to, as soon as that first hint comes in that you know what it is. And I got Sean. Did you get Sean?
I got Sean.
That's so awesome, because Sean, it was his birthday this past week. Happy birthday, Sean, the Jedi Master. You guys, he is a moderator on the channel as well, so you can click on his name and go over and follow his channel. He's got a great channel, and he's our favorite Astros fan out there as well.
He
a lot of junk, but Sean is going to have his channel promoted on the website this whole week, and man, I'm probably going to surprise. I know I've got stuff set aside. I'm probably going to surprise Sean with a package this week. So thank you, Sean, and thank you all for playing trivia. Let's get to that top 5 baseball cards of the week here. Let's see. All right, coming straight from Market Movers, compliments of Sports Card Investor. We do use it. It is a fun site to use, I will say. This was number 5 as far as top baseball cards selling of the week, and showing you there. First was the 2023 Bowman Draft Chrome Green Refractor, number 299 of Blake Mitchell, the Kansas City Royals, because he's a catcher. And we've seen a 7-day increase of 445.1% and a 30-day increase of 566%. Good Lord. I'm not seeing any raw available on eBay at the moment, but it's like it was about I'll say about a $15 to $20 card in recent sales.
So there are none that are on eBay that are graded, but there was one that sold on the 9th of March for $13.76. The most recent sold on the 11th of March for $75 even.
Okay, I see that on there. So Blake Mitchell, I'm not familiar with the name just yet, but I'm assuming he's doing some crazy good stuff in spring training right now for the Royals. So hats off to him. All right, that takes us to number 4. Let's get it. There we go with the 2018 Topps Update Base Juan Soto rookie card. I think there's a lot of hype and excitement for him being on the Yankees this season.
I'm excited.
With him back-to-back in the lineup with Aaron Judge. Good Lord. All right, so raw. This card, you can probably pick this up about $16 to $20. That's a good deal. We've seen a 7-day increase of 10.8%, a 30-day increase of 36.3%.
Yeah, I mean, the last one sold yesterday at a PSA 10 for $59 even.
Nice, man. That's it's crazy to hear that. That's a great price. I'm just thinking about, that's one of the cards during like COVID times.
Yes.
That was like crazy hard to get, and
Mm-hmm.
so I guess not crazy hard to get. It was just expensive, so crazy hard for me to get. But yeah, anyways, very nice. All right, number 3. Let's get it. Right, we've got the 2023 Bowman Sapphire edition of Spencer Jones. 7-day increase of 23.9%, 30-day increase of 92.6%. And I'm not seeing any available raw on eBay at the moment, but recent sales, it's about a $35-ish card raw.
You know, if I was actually into investing, I would have said I'm a genius, but I'm
Yeah.
not. I collected just because, and I
Yeah.
saw potential in this kid.
Yeah.
So I actually have it. But the last one sold yesterday at a PSA 10 for $195.
Yeah, very nice. Spencer Jones, if you guys don't know, prospect for the New York Yankees. That's Mr. Fuego picked up on those because he's a Yankees guy. And you actually got a couple of Spencer Jones at PSA right now. So I'm excited to get those back for you. Yeah, just a prospect on the Yankees that's doing really crazy good things, hitting freaking home runs like a madman in spring training. So very cool. All right, we are on number 2.
What's a top 5 without Ohtani?
I know this is an interesting one though. It's a little different. This is the 2018 Donruss Optic batting rated rookie Shohei Ohtani. 7-day increase of 117.4%, a 30-day increase of 69.5%. This card raw is roughly $45 to $50.
Well, if you got them, you may want to go get them slabbed up because the last one that sold at a PSA 10 was yesterday for $304.
Okay. So I gotta say, I don't think it was the most recent PSA reveal, but the one before, Adam's Card Closet, another great channel, sent me cards, and he had one of these slab, but it was the red yellow version. So you guys got to go check that out. Adam, he's got some good stuff. I'll just say that. That was only one of the nice ones he had in there. So, all right, that was number 2. So, who is number 1 of the week? Well, what do you know? Twice in the same podcast, we're going to talk about Wyatt Langford again. This is his refractor, Chrome Refractor from 2023 Bowman Draft. I'm not seeing any raw available on eBay at the moment. Recent sales of it's about $50 to $60 card raw. 7-day increase of 1.7%, 30-day increase of 23.5%.
All right, so all 5 of these transactions happen on the same day. So on the low end, one sold for $157.72. And on the high end, one sold for $192.50.
All the same day. That's interesting. It makes you wonder if like the same buyer bought them all, you know? It's like a
Possibility.
super collector or super investor. I'm not sure. All I know is this guy is like the number. I feel like as far as out of 2023 Bowman, this is like the guy. This is like the number 1 guy people were going for.
I would not be surprised if I start seeing an influx of Rangers fans.
Yeah, well, I mean, good. I know it's hard. It's crazy to say that, but they did win the World Series last year,
did.
so it's crazy. So, anyways, all right, guys, that's our top 5. So when we're done with that, it's time for our favorite time of the podcast. It's banter time. Let's get it. Boom. How was your week in the collecting world, Mr. Fuego?
It's been good. You know, I mean, I finally came down off that high off the last 2 previous episodes that we did.
Dude.
And
yeah,
you know, business as usual, getting into breaks, picking up some stuff. I did do a couple of videos of series 1. One was a complete disaster. Not gonna lie about that one.
Yeah.
And then I had to do another follow-up video, which basically blew that video out the water.
Yeah. That it's crazy. I think you see now, like it with Series 1, it's crazy how the hobby boxes and stuff just didn't seem as good as retail this year. It's
Right.
funny how that happens sometimes, but yeah, I didn't go crazy with the Series 1 this year, but I did get all retail, and I hit a home field advantage. I hit a oh man, what's the wood cards called?
Heavy lumber.
Heavy lumber card. That one I showed off in a video already, so I'll show it off when I hit the Pete Alonso heavy lumber. The home field advantage that I pulled will be in a short tomorrow because I pulled it out of a fat pack my mom sent me from Target out of California. Of all formats, I know. I just like that's the same. The heavy lumber came out of a blaster box, and the home field advantage came out of a fat pack, and it's crazy. So got some some numbered stuff this year. Some of those I really like those blue foil cards this year that I think are numbered out of $9.99. They're $9.99. Yep. I got off of another channel, I think maybe just one blaster of the Fanatics because I wanted to take a shot at it. I was kind of trying. It would be cool to get like one of the redemptions for memorabilia out of there, but they had the Aqua parallels in there, so those were cool. I got a really nice Esther Ruiz card for my A's out of that, so that was cool. But I hear what you're saying. Like Series 1, I'm kind of like, I mean, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm gonna go through and see about seeing if I got a full set. I sent in a couple base rookie cards,
right?
PSA just to test the waters. I just kind of want to see how they're graded. Like you get a new set, you're not sure how PSA is gonna handle them, and the whole black on the top and yada yada. But they sure do look nice. The way they did the neon lettering on there looks. Right. If you haven't seen the cards in person, it's hard to understand. They really pop with the look on there. So yeah. So when I got back though, after being gone for about a week, I got it was fun to come back to a bunch of stuff. Like I had gotten into, I think, like a Stadium Club deal, and Arnie over at Card Deal had hooked me up with a bunch of all the Boba Fett, like out of Series 1, and had another AE Collectibles sent me the red UK of Boba Fett out of I think that was 2022. So it was nice to come home and have all those packages at once and like go through, and like there's cards that I bought, but there's also like hobby love that people had sent me. So it was nice.
So let me put you and our listeners and viewers in a situation real quick, because we spoke about this before you went on your trip to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. Suppose you're a breaker.
Okay.
You are working on filling a case of Topps Chrome Update Sapphire.
Okay.
And as you're going through it, you're noticing an astronomically different in this case, where at the end of it, you're pulling a grand total of 94 autographs.
Okay, dude, I forgot about that. And see how quickly the hobby like just change, like focuses on different stuff. That was insane. That was on was that Bled Baseball?
Blez. Yes.
Oh my god, I gotta see if I pull that story up. But yeah, they started opening this case of Sapphire, and oh my god, I already love Sapphire. I was already there to watch it anyway. But then autos. It was like more than some packs had 2 or 3 of them in there, and there was so in that case it came to what 94 cards,
94 total autographs. And out of all those hobby boxes, only one had 1 autograph. Everything else had like 4 or 5 or sometimes 6.
And they were not junk autos, man. They were all the goodies, all the good stuff. Okay, glitch. Yeah, they're calling it a glitch case. I'm gonna call it something else. but I mean, okay, so a loaded case, yes, but this does like seem like weird because I'm just looking. There was 4 Corbin Carrolls. There was 4. Oh man, he's going too fast for me.
There was a few Josh Youngs.
4 Josh Youngs, I think. It's looking like Tristan Casas. Like it's insane. It's insane. All the autos that came out of this. Damn, why didn't I get it on that break? You know, but I'm sorry. That's super cool, but that can't happen. That's not cool.
It won't happen
about
twice.
all the people that got like crappy boxes or boxes that didn't get any autos at all. Like, what are we gonna do now? Like,
yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. If I'm the guy that's breaking that, I'm having a good
literally,
time.
what is running through your head as you're pulling all this stuff?
Because I would be like, this is shady as fuck. Like, that's what I would be saying. But man, it's like a dream. You think about like, opening a pack when you're a kid, and like, could you imagine like getting like a pack with all inserts on accident, like when we were kids? Like, you would just lose your mind.
And I'm sure the buyer of those teams that got like 5, 6, 7 autographs were not complaining.
No,
not one bit.
Not one bit. Dude, could you imagine? Like getting 4 Anthony Volpe rookie autos and being like,
that would be insane.
I'll keep these 2 for my collection. The other 2,
exactly.
Exactly. But this is the hobby that we love, man.
Yes, it is.
Stuff that's happening up in there. So in Memphis, Tennessee, I didn't see any card shops just walking around there. It's a lot of music, but I did not know that there's the Memphis Redbirds there. AAA team for the Cardinals system is there, and they had a beautiful baseball park that right in downtown Memphis. All brick built, like too, very smaller, of course, but in stature on the outside, but reminded me very much of San Francisco's stadium. It was super cool. So I can just only imagine what it would be like to live in an area like that where you can just walk into a game like that. And like, it's had the open back like gates where you can see the field from the gate, like if you were like waiting in line to get in or something like that. And then they had almost Camden Yard-ish kind of things where they had buildings with like apartments that you could, if you had a corner one or something like that, you could see.
Right.
I don't know. It was cool. It makes me want to go back through my pro debut cards and look for the Redbirds. Yeah. Just throwing that out there. So yeah. Trying to think, my sister was there with me. We had talked a little bit of baseball here and there. She's pretty pumped about Juan Soto, Aaron Judge. We had heard. I haven't heard or looked into the details crazy deep with it. Is Garrett Cole possibly out or something like that?
He's out for no more than 2 months.
Okay, that's not horrible. It could be a lot worse for the Yankees.
So right now, Nasty Nestor is pitching opening day.
Okay, that's cool. I love Nasty Nestor. That's cool. That was also, when we go on these trips, we always, before we leave to go back home, we always decide where we're going the next year, and we do it with like a game of some sort. This year, the place we were staying at had a pool table, so we played a game of pool to determine where we were going to end up, because we both knew we wanted to go to spring training games. We've been talking about it forever, and we knew like next year we're going to spring training. So the thing was, are we going to Arizona, which is where I wanted to go, or Florida, where she wanted to go, which we both really don't care. We go to either one, but I'm just like, I'm old and like the time zone changed. Like, I'm like, I'm going to Arizona, so doesn't mess up my schedule. But anyways, we are going to be in Florida next March for spring training. So pumped on that. What games we go to will depend on who's where the week. My sister's a school teacher, so it has to coincide with her spring break. But being as she's a Yankees fan, I'm sure we're going to try to get in on some Yankees, and hopefully if the stars align, it'll be Yankees and Blue Jays. So, we'll see how that goes. But that is what I've got, I think, today for Hobby News. What am I forgetting? I always forget something, Mr. Fuego. Come on.
No, I think
I got something. Forgot to talk about this in the Hobby News. Real small little thing. PSA. We talked about their specials a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
Said there were 6, but when we talked about them, they were only showing 5. I just want to, throw out the 6th one that's out there, that they have a $16.99 deal on modern cards. That's 2000 and newer. And it's a 10 card minimum with a $500 declared value. So that's that's a decent deal if you're trying to get ultra modern stuff graded. So wanted you guys to know about that. They also, the previous deals that were on there were for some vintage cards, I think 60s to 70s, some range there.
79, I believe it is.
Something like that, for $14.99 a card. And then the rest of the deals were for their higher levels or quicker services at a slightly discounted rate. So that's it, I think, today for the Baseball Card Junkies podcast. Be sure to meet us over on Mr. Fuego's channel for the After Hour show, where we talk to you all more one-on-one in the chat. We'll answer more of your questions and what have you over there. And it's been a long 2 weeks. Thank you again so much for being here. And y'all have a great weekend.